Okay, well, welcome to the last session. I have got a PowerPoint, believe it or not. So I'll fire that up, but I'm not going to kind of tax you too much today because I think it's pretty much about seeing what we've got to do to get you kind of over the line. We're going to have a bit of a quiz, see what your assessment knowledge is. I did this quiz with the other assessment group the other day, and you'd be pleased to know that I failed it. So I might just turn the recording off when we do the actual results, so it doesn't reflect too badly on me. But I thought I'd take you through what we need to kind of finish, which is, I probably should talk about that now so we get that out of the way. So this is what I'm seeing from the instructions that come with the actual learning journey. And let me blow this up a bit. So I reckon we've probably done with the, what have we done? You've all done that, done that, you've done that, you've done that. You've kind of done some of these according to what ones were relevant and interesting to you in terms of assessment tasks. Then we're now kind of at this part here. So let me put a box around that. This is where we are now. So what we've got to do is go back. There's another form to fill out once you've finished everything with your manager. Then your unit of competency unpacked for assessment. So I guess that might be just a bit of an overview of how, and I don't think you need to go into much depth on this, but, or I don't probably need to see mapping or anything like that, but just a kind of overview of 3 tasks that you choose and how they fit together and in order. So they're kind of sequence and type. And I think we also talked a bit about summary. So if you chose like a knowledge quiz and you've got so many types of different types of knowledge questions, you're going to say do a combination of 3 or 4 different types, then just give us a couple of samples of each of those. You don't necessarily need to give us the whole thing. Just give us a bit of a sample. Then if you need to go ahead and fix it up, then you can work off the feedback after we've completed this to do it in your own kind of time. So the other one is that you give up 3 assessment instruments. And, we've been to a whole stack, but some of them aren't kind of relevant. So my thinking here was that you use what you want to use for the assessment. So it might be 3 separate types. I don't think that will be the case. I think or you could do like a repeat, so a repeat of 1 or more. I think that's probably more likely. So for example, 2 observation and a knowledge. Or
Mick, with that unit of competency unpacked for assessment, would that be the diary, where we're our final hey Jane.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
Would that be our because I've already done that. I've gone back and I've put in the discussion forum my final thoughts on the
reflection.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's the word for it, the reflection. Yeah. So I thought we had to just hand in, say, like I'm doing my 3rd-party report, my my questions and answers, for the knowledge questions, and then I'm going to do what was the other one? I wasn't going to do oh geez, I'm not thinking straight today. The role play. I wasn't going to do the role play.
No, that's fine. I mean, I think you do what is relevant.
Yeah. But so I thought I had it all sort of worked out in my head. So I had the three tasks and then put up. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying. You don't have to give me, a role play, a demonstration, and knowledge for the sake of it. Choose the knowledge, choose the assessment types that are going to be, directly relevant to your unit and how you deliver it, how you think you can deliver it. So we've had a kind of cook's tour we've driven down the highway and passed a lot of diners and garages, but we've chosen to only eat at a couple.
Okay.
That's pretty much how I see it. That's relevant to how hungry you are and what you feel like to eat, I guess. So yeah, I saw your reflection. Thank you for that. And kind of what I was really sort of saying. Hello, Jane.
Hello.
Is that I appreciate time is a bit of an essence for you here. So if you can do the full thing and it's useful to you, then do that, and you can use it next year. Then I can give you like as much feedback as you need. If you push for time, just what we've kind of said all along, just give us a sample of what it is that you're going to do. So if you're going to do a workplace demonstration, describe the task as best you can, but perhaps give me all the questions or as many as you can, and some of the marketing guide, so that kind of see this dial. Because like once you read a marketing guide and you read the first three things, you kind of realize pretty quickly whether the trainer's got it right or needs a bit of a guidance to. So why go through all that and then kill yourself? So so that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yep.
To make it kind of as useful for you as possible without being a slog.
Mm.
And then you've got to get your thing signed off again, and then as you've done, there's a bit of a reflection where you can kind of go as easy or as hard as you like on the learning journey. I mean, one of the big, this might be a bit different in this group, but in the other group, it was perhaps more of an introduction to assessment. It's called Understanding the Assessment, and I had trainers there that had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years of experience. So it was very challenging for them we had to kind of adjust it as we went to make it interesting. And we turned it a bit more into a free-form discussion. So one of the questions I'm kind of interested in is the level of challenge, for you as experienced educators with this particular learning journey, how we might kind of address that. I think it was probably less so in this one, but I'd be interested to hear. But we can talk about that. We'll talk about that later when we get a chance to go to the hack. Jane, did you get all that? You might have come in a bit late, and is there anything you might have missed there?
Were you just going over what you need to hand in?
Yep. So basically, most of it's pretty straightforward, but the thing we're talking about was that this one here, like unpacked, I'm really just sort of saying, just gives an overview of the three tasks and where they fit. I don't then send any mapping. If you've got mapping, give it to me, but I don't need you to do it for this.
Well, I've done 2 and I'm just working on my 3rd. I think I've sent 2.
Star.
And I've done a reflection, but the reflection was more on, just a little bit of an overview of the course. Yeah,
good. Yeah, that's what we need.
I'm fairly happy with knowing, I think, what I've got to do.
All right, cool. And if it proves difficult to upload, then just email it to me.
I have uploaded them. I think I've either got ready to upload them or I uploaded them last night, but I've got one that still come. My questions that I've been working on as just knowledge questions.
I'll make a note of that, and
I put 2 little simulation things in and adapted some things that we had already. But I'm working on the questions that we worked on earlier in workshop 3, and I just want to tighten those up and put the guide with them. And then when we send it do we just send a copy of what we've done to our manager? Is that what the sign off is? Like send her the little note and then send in what we've done so she can look at it and then she sends back.
Let's have a look at what you got to sign off for.
I mean, she kind of obviously has to see it, doesn't she? So you send her the little slip so she knows what she's doing and then send her the stuff, do we?
It looks pretty basic there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty, I thought it was pretty average, to be quite honest.
But is that what you thought? I didn't see any templates. I just put in my stuff.
There's nothing. It's just your name and their signature. There's a tiny little box for comments and that's it.
But I mean, we send our work to them or we just tell them we've done it? I mean, they obviously want to see it, don't they?
Yeah, you have to send your work to them.
Maybe give them an email. or if you've, I don't know, you probably haven't got access to it that much, have you? So you say, well, here's the assessments, are going to take 10 minutes for a quick look, see if I'm on track, or happy to sign off on it. Or maybe just email to start with, say, this is what I want to do, this is what I did, are you happy to sign me off, or you want to see it? Then you might be able to cut the chase.
I was going to just say my requirements were for this journey to create 3 assessment tools, and here they are, and attach the 3 assessment tools plus this bit of paper for my manager to have a look at it if he sees the 3 assessment tools. And then he'll look at them, and then he'll sign it. Probably won't even look at them. My manager will probably just say, just get it out of my face and send it back to me.
I won't even have to send mine, to be honest. I'll just have to send this sign-off piece of paper and say, I'm all done from the learning journey. Can you sign this?
Really? Yeah, see, that's
probably the reality.
That is the reality for my department.
Yeah, I can imagine. So that's all good. I mean, whatever you do, I suspect people have copied and pasted the signature in the past, but I'm not advocating that, of course. Because I doubt that they would ever hear anything again about this, to be honest. But
it goes on the. Yeah, it'll. Yeah.
be no one to get hold of you.
No one will see it after we submit it. Really, it'll just sit on Moodle for ever and a day.
Unless you go on and fully develop what you've done here, and then get it validated and all that stuff. So, all right, beauty. So clear as mud.
Yep.
And I think I'm not sure that I gave you a date, but I know I gave the other guys a fair whack of time.
You just sent an email to us saying Wednesday, the 1st of December, didn't you?
Did I?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah, in the email.
I'm on the ball, aren't I?
Just this morning. Was
Oh,
it this
yeah.
morning?
I thought
I
it was
think I got
November the
that
8th. I think we had to have it in by, didn't we?
You've got finalised by Wednesday, the 1st of December.
I made a slide. Definitely made a slide because we went through all this on yesterday. So I think I got the wrong. Anyway, not to worry. It's all good. I do have the wrong one because I had some activities for you to do. Anyway, I'll work it out. So what we're going to do is going to play Kahoot. So
Me?
Kahoot. So grab your phone out, and the easiest way to play Kahoot is to go. Let me put into that. We don't need all that. Don't need an app or anything. You just need to go to kahoot.it in a browser on whatever you use on your phone. So let me do that. I've got new Wi-Fi here, which is fantastic because I was having a lot of trouble with you guys.
Give us
So-
a cup of tea at one point.
It's freezing up now. So that looks a bit like that.
Yep, got it.
That. When you get there. Now I'm going to be giving you a game pin in a minute. So I'll keep that up. And I've got to get the game. Oh, that's not good. Why did they come up with that? Phew, thank God for that. So where's our game?
On the right-hand side.
I just had this, isn't it? Oh, I just had this all ready to go.
We believe you.
No, I did.
Right, on the right-hand side.
I'm very organised today. No, I am
Back up
organised all week.
On the right-hand side, Mick, on the right, go across.
Oh, there, thank you.
Yeah.
I used to use Kahoot all the time, but I haven't used it for a long time. I've got my own, it's hard to have an account. All right, so we're going to do, I shouldn't show you that. So it's going to be head to head rather than team by team. Now, have you all used Kahoot?
Once.
Yep.
I think.
Once, okay. So it's got this god awful music. Let me turn it off. Oh, it's better. So you can see the game pin up here. So if you enter that into your word after, and it's going to ask you to give yourself a nickname. So if you want to go for anonymity, now there you go. Sharon and Phil are pretty happy to go with who they are, which is courageous.
Oh, how clever is all that? Kez, Jane, Jill, and Sharon. Woohoo!
So we nearly all, is that all of us? Got Coretta. This is CK. Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
CK. Okay, so what will happen is once this game starts, you play the game on your phone. So there'll be a question. It's just a multiple choice quiz. There'll be a question, and then you'll have a shape alongside each answer, and you just select the shape on your phone that you think is the best answer. So play the first one. Unfortunately, Kahoot runs on who's quickest, which is not always good because some people have slower neurons, but don't let that worry you. And we'll have a discussion at some point about how you feel about the gamification elements of it here, because it got very competitive the other day. Let's start it. And of course, these results go back to the educated colleges, how you've gone here. So you get 20 seconds. First question's coming up on your phone, right? And you see the shapes for the options now. And then you choose the shape. Oh my God, I'm logged out. You'll see the shape that, and you choose that. Oh God, good. Is it ultra reliable?
I didn't even get a question.
So if you think it's reliable, choose the blue. There we go. Okay, so we've got a few there. I've only got one right.
The question didn't come up on my phone.
Didn't it really?
No.
No, it's not. It comes up on the screen. I don't think you actually get it on your phone, do you?
Yeah, no, I got it on the phone.
No.
Oh. I just looked at the
All
screen.
right.
It's a bit of a hassle because if you've got a log out in a minute, you can always play it on the computer, but it's a little bit tricky. Do we have another go and see how we go? So maybe log in, make sure you're right to go. But I think it's going to give us
1 of 12, it says.
Leaderboard. There we go. So that's not a good look.
Everyone's on zero.
Though. Someone got it right.
Yeah, Jane got it right.
Yeah, well, she got 0 points.
No, I got it wrong.
You
I
got it
thought
right.
I got it right. I've got a tick on my thing saying I got it
Oh,
right.
it was Sharon then. I knew it was someone.
Got ripped off.
Maybe it'll update.
Here we go. Now, watch your phones. You should see it change now. So you should see something like that. Tricky, isn't it? Oh God, what a bunch of fair. What do I have? I'm glad we didn't play this at the start. You probably wouldn't have stayed here, so wouldn't it? How are we going? We all get there. We've got 6 of us. That's all of us, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we should see some scores now. Oh, maybe we're not. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Sharon, Kez, Mickey G, Coretta, you're not even on the board yet.
I don't know why.
It'll come though. It'll come. It'll come.
Maybe it's because I'm having a sip.
Freaking funny, this, isn't it? Okay. Consistent. So different assessors make the same decision. Is it? On the go. Hey, well done. Okay, we're on a roll now. I can feel it. Coffee's kicked in. Jane.
Oh, where am I?
Yeah, what happened to you? It must be some. You must be getting. This must be getting hacked by Russian secret.
Yeah, but I
service.
think it's how quick you are.
It is how quick you
You
are.
get
No, that last one, I nearly went right to the end. I was trying to
This is
think
a
about
shocker. I'm not happy with the
more
quickness.
points for being quick as well.
Maybe only the top 5 get shown. I'm in 6th place, it tells me on my screen.
This is impressive. Look at this. CK's on the board.
Yay.
Good
Yeah.
on you, CK. Go girl.
Team CK.
How do you get so many points for answering the question right? Jeez.
It's got something
But
against
it's
you. I think.
fast. It's time as well.
Oh, I've got to be fast, do I? Okay, oh
I might be getting
God.
hacked. So it's becoming adjusted.
Oh, yes, this one. I know the answer to this one. I'll be really fast.
Is it?
There.
Mine mine just dropped out.
5 locked in.
Oh, no.
Whoa, Phil, you're saying that this was your performance here?
That was me.
But this is the kind of, this would be a worrying, in e-learning, this would be a worrying trend. If you got those kind of results, because you'd probably expect it to be more like something like that, and then like that, and like that. So, and if it's valid enough, all right, let's check the scores. Let me get rid of all that. Jane. Jane's back. Sharon, you're back on the board. CK, Team CK dropped off.
Yes.
My phone dropped out and I had to go back into it. It lost the screen.
I hate that. You have to kind of tell people to put it on for 5 minutes. I'm going to put you on the board anyway, CK, just so you don't feel too bad. And I'll give you some random points.
No, I'm good.
That's weird.
It only shows the top 5, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Phil, you got a fire. You're on fire.
oh,
Phil has the
Yeah, that's
highest
what-
answer streak of 3. Congrats, Phil.
All right, log in, everyone. Get ready. Here we go. Come on, Team Greta. The evidence collected covers all benchmark and assessment criteria. Is it?
oh, I think I was wrong. Yeah.
This is what you want. This is what you want in a test result.
Mm.
Okay, this is going to be very interesting.
Oh.
Hey!
Oh,
No, I know the answer to these. Which shows
Oh.
how poorly. Hey, CK, you're on the board.
Yay.
Evidence demonstrates the candidate's skills and knowledge at the time of assessment. Is it? There should be no brainer this one. Oh. Okay, it's going. Here we go. Kiss. On fire.
Yes.
Jane, you've dark horse there. CK, what's going on? All right. There's enough evidence to make a clear decision. Is it? It's a bit tricky because it appears different on your phone as it does on the. Very good. This is good. Kiss. 5 in a row. I reckon. I think we need Kerry's hands above like that. So I can just quick do. Phil, you're coming back on the bouncing back.
They're trying to.
I slipped a bit there. Okay. here we
Thanks,
go.
CK put the moz on me.
Oh, everyone knows this one. Come on.
Oh, this one should be shredded. No excuses for this one. Hey, this is a screenshot I'll send to Educator College, all right? Oh, you've lost your on fire. Jane, you must be like, now you're, yeah, I've got a theory on that, but now some of these are a bit old fashioned, I reckon, but we'll see how we go. I don't think we kind of use these phrases anymore. Might be a little bit old. This. So there we go.
Oh, I think I got that wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one. This one. Yeah. It probably should be. Yeah. Probably right. We had a bit of a argy-bargy on this one the other day about it and workplace standards, but and managing a number of tasks. There is a name for that. So get ready for those answers. Jane
Got me.
comes in late. She fills herself up with coffee and then she's
2 coffees.
2 coffees.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
should be running off the loo in a minute.
That's right.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I'm the other group. Thank God for breakout rooms. task management skills. Oh, I'm trying to click that and it's on here. Oh no. Oh no. Hey, well done. Yeah, I'll screenshot this one too.
Did you surprise yourself, Nick?
I panicked. I've dropped 2. I'm not quick enough. Jane, you got the answer streak of 5. All right, so I believe that who we've got in contention is here. Phil, you and I are battling it out for minor prizes. And Team Seek, I think you're playing for pride now. So.
Go to Lou.
All right, here we go. Oh, this should be able to get this one. Oh.
Oh, I give up.
Now, the reason I know this is because I've written 20 units this year, and every one of them has something about contingency skills in it. So I've written a little block, honed it, copy and paste it into every one. It's different for everyone, but it was one of those. Remember we used to talk about the 4 dimensions of competency. It used to be task, performance, there's something else. Task management, I think that's what these are, and contingency. So these are the 4. We don't talk about them so much now anymore. And contingency always seemed to me the most important one because it showed you that you had enough nous that if something went pear-shaped, that what you've been taught could get you out of trouble or help you with your problem solving or creative thinking to overcome an obstacle. Sharon, you're on fire, but you've dropped. I reckon Jane, deep down, Jane's really bloody competitive. Look at that. She's just Phil.
I can tell.
All right, now can we have this opportunity? Let's get you on that board.
I'll get this one wrong so you can get on there.
No, don't do that.
This is like something out of parental guidance. Oh, jeez. Hey.
Oh,
Okay, this is it, I think. Podium. That's pretty much how I dance too. Sharon,
Wow.
Jane, what's the bet?
10 out of 10.
Hey,
Oh, where's Greta?
No. I don't know.
She's still
Oh,
coming. Most determined.
This is the first 3.
No, she gets a participation award. Like- all the kids get participation
Showing up.
awards.
Thanks for
You
showing
can
up.
keep Corinna.
I remember little athletics used to be like that. I don't know if your kids ever did little athletics, but they used to give out ribbons up to 10th or 12th, I think. So if you came
That's
12th, you get a ribbon.
shocking.
There's the answers, and who got them correct. So this is probably what I have to send to.
Okay.
I'll send this to the Educator College. Yeah.
That's that every kid wins a prize thing instead of,
Yeah, instead of a heartache and disappointment of hardening
yeah,
up.
yeah, harden the hell up.
So let's reflect a little bit on the, because there's always that school of thought about competitiveness, but there wasn't Kahoot around when I used to teach vet in schools. I found this online computer program, which was like a game show. It had a big game show host and it had this kind of blonde woman who was the hostess, and just to ask questions, you could type them in and it would read the questions to them. And their kids loved it, but I did bribe them because I had big boxes of twisties and lollies. And it was the last day of class and the auditor came in. We were getting audited. The auditor said, "Can I come and see your class?" And he said he was going to do this thing and he did something else. And so I'm in the middle of this quiz thing, throwing chocolates and twisties and making sure we got one. And he came in and he was going to ask these questions of students, but he asked other questions. And I'd rehearse the students. And you could see, like, it was the first time I saw them really do some critical thinking, because they could see that ask a question, think, oh, I don't want to get Mick into trouble here. So every question they just said, I really enjoyed the course and I really like Mick as a teacher, even though it had nothing to do with the answer. I thought I was getting that I was getting into trouble, which is really sick. But what do you think about the competition part of it?
It's good.
I think it's not good.
Not
It's
good?
fun, but good to play in teams rather than individually. I mean, I enjoyed it totally, but I think it it doesn't make people feel very good who, like you said earlier, do take a little while to think about the question and get their head around it. If they just take a little bit longer, which is nothing about whether they're knowing their stuff or not. And so it can make you feel, I imagine, not being in that position. But
I think if I have used Kahoots before, but I would encourage everybody to put in a completely different name or some sort of something that doesn't reflect who they are. But apart from that, same as what Jane's saying, I get worried for the people that take a bit longer, and then they don't. Let's be honest, there's bright kids in the class, and there's other kids that are I say kids, they're not even kids, other students that are not so bright, that take a bit more time, and I'll get worried for them when they see their name, not even like poor CK, her name's not even appearing on the board. Like that's how I would.
Yeah, it's a bit of reinforcement of the squeaky wheel gets the attention to it, isn't it? If you're quick, and that's what happens in team meetings and things too, isn't it? If you're quick, you get listened to, get the first answer, and often the person who comes in fifth or sixth has the best kind of thing when they've listened to everybody or their own thing. But yeah, what has speed got to do with it? It's like group work. I think group work's good. I always found with the kids because it was semi-competitive, but only to kind of make a better project. But it was a different project, so it is interesting kind of. It's a bit of a big deal. Like maybe I reckon 4, 5, 6 years ago, everyone was talking about gamification and leaderboards and all that sort of stuff. And I think the gamification element is good in terms of things like scenarios and case studies and that sort of stuff. Choose your own kind of adventure type content sort of stuff. That's kind of useful. But, I don't think many students go to compete with others. They go to compete with themselves pretty much.
Can I just
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Of course.
I would think, hadn't I tried this sort of thing before in my teaching where I get the students to make the game so that then they have to think of the question and the answer. So by going through the process of making up the game, then they're learning because they're having to know what the answers are and then get the others to do it and then get different groups, little groups, pairs or whatever.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it shows you whether they've internalized all the knowledge and whatever as well, or if they do some sneaky research, that's okay.
Yeah. And make it more of a fun thing, not about coming from the teacher, but making it as more of an activity where they're developing it.
Every year Chisholm has a conference, and this year we had a conference on Zoom. It was a Zoom conference, and there was some voucher put up, like I think like a Maya voucher or something like that. And if you on the screen, if you visited all these different areas, you would get a certain amount of points for visiting these certain areas. It was almost like a treasure hunt type of thing. And then all of a sudden, instead of there just being the top score of 300 or 400 or something like that, which was the maximum score of clicking and going into each one of the areas, it went up to something like 26,000 and stuff like that, because people worked out that if you clicked to go into a certain area once, and so it was only registered every time you went into this area. So people were clicking in and out of these different areas, and it pumped up their score. So it came down to who was quick enough to click into the different areas. And it was just like a total
nightmare.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
It sounds a little bit like the problem with tracking content in Moodle. So, like if someone visits a video, click on it, they click out again, it gets recorded as a visit. Whereas if you follow that up, like what they could have done was you go and visit it and then you do a quick quiz. So what was the place about? What did you learn? Or, or survey or something. So you had to actually do something to show that you've been there to
Yep.
make
Yeah.
it work. Because it, it becomes a bit of a hollow exercise there, doesn't it? In that sense.
Mind you, I was third on the list when it closed.
You've
I
won
worked
and
it
then you
out.
become disillusioned with this.
Yeah, I thought I'm not going to let these IT people win. I thought because it was all the IT people that were clicking in and out and winning. So my manager laughed at me and he said, "I noticed you were third when it closed at 12 o'clock or whenever it was." But I said, "Yeah, I did my best."
It's a very good conference, Jules. I came in about, I think it was 2016, 17. I did something on video, but I hung around all day and saw the guest speaker at the end of the day. Was it Frankston? It was huge. I think it was Frankston.
It might have been Dandenong.
Dandenong, yeah.
Who was the guest speaker?
It was a comedian, Indian comedian. Ando, that's right.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that was a dandy.
That was really fantastic. Yeah. Bit tricky driving home after Pinagre afterwards, but anyway. But I have used Kahoot as a survey. So there's no right or wrong answers. And I've used it as like you have a problem and then you suggest a couple of potential solutions, all of which are credible, rather than knowledge question. And then you always had one that was like, what would be the best way forward? And then, talk or whatever. And then one would be something else. So there's no right or wrong answer. It was really just to get them to make an argument. So the people who said something else, they were always interesting to ask them what they'd thought, because then it opens up a bit of a dialogue about the question rather than you're right or wrong, as it is kind of here. So surveys is good because there's no competition there. There's no points. It just shows you who's voted what, and then you kind of move on, go from there.
So with this Kahoot, do you put in the questions yourself as a teacher?
Do I?
Can you? Yeah.
I've used it in professional development just to break things up a little bit. But the problem is I can't make any new ones without paying for it anymore. So I've got all these old ones. And I had one about online facilitation that I did when I was doing sort of PD and diploma of it. And it was, I used survey so that, I'd ask them about difficult students online, how they might deal with it. So there was no right or wrong answer, just what they thought might work. So it's opinion. Then they had to back that opinion up with, why they thought it was a good strategy. So I found that was just created more conversation. Whereas, if you've got right or wrong answers, it's just like a knowledge retrieval, bit of fun. It's not really applied to anything. So,
okay.
And it didn't really matter if you were fast or slow or whatever, you just have to kind of have a think about it. And if you didn't think anything were any good, you could say something else, so. Then
this is my first time of using it. So for the questions we just answered, did you set them up yourself or it comes with the learning job?
Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter with the survey because it just says what everybody kind of voted. So you can, if you got a question, then everybody votes the same as a way of solving that particular issue. Then you can sort of ask some questions about, well, why didn't you consider this other one, but no one voted for? And if someone says something else, they might have a really interesting approach to the problem that you haven't thought of. So it's always good to hear people who think a bit differently. So any brainstorm is good to hear what everybody thinks. And in an example of that, some people who are maybe way off the boil to find more about why they're not really getting it. And then people who say something else to see if they've got any creativity there or have, different approaches. Whenever we ask an open question in here, you'll all have a different answer about how you kind of do things. And that's kind of really interesting. That's probably more interesting than saying, oh yeah, I understand what a, evidence rule is. For example, I understand what currency is or task management skills. So it's a bit more critical thinking, I guess, or conversation. What about the other guys? Any of you used it?
Yeah. Greta, the answer I think you're looking for is you do make up your own questions and your own answers. You put it all into the computer as the person creating the quiz.
Oh, sorry, I totally misunderstood that.
Is
So,
that what you
yeah,
meant? Was that what you
Yeah.
asked? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to think up, and you can dictate how many questions you have and that sort of thing. So
So you can do a new Kahoot, or you can do teaching things. When you create a new one, I think it asks you what sort of question type. So you've got true and false, and then you've got, I think they call it open-ended or poll. So then is no right or wrong. And then when you choose it, you can see the question is up here. They might come with a question like that. So there's no right or wrong answer to that, because everyone's going to have a different approach. I mean, you might say brainstorm, watch a video. Is my spelling. And then you always have something like this for like, so then when the student thinks, I don't like any of those, they might come up with something else, might play my podcast or whatever. And then you just have another one, and you can choose a different sort of slide for the next one if you want to. So you could do a bit of a mixture, and you can see you got your slides down here where you add them in, and then you can just choose play, and it will come to that screen that I showed you, and you share that screen with students and get them to go to Kahoot on your phone. But somebody showed me a really good one the other day, which is free. I really like this. So I'll put it in the text chat. I was going to use this with you today. If I can work it out. So it's got these, it's basically, you might do one now, eh? It's got a, oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, I like this one. This is like, so I thought this would be good, like evaluation thingy, right? So, and I don't know who's done what. So if I start that, so basically this is like an evaluation kind of thing or an activity. So what do you want to keep? And you just type in down here. So for that one, you type in down here and then click add, and then you type in down there. So if I share you this link, you should be able to do this on your computer. So if you click on that, it will open up the board for you. And then you can spend 5 minutes or so telling me what you'd like to keep in the learning journey, what you think we could add, what you do less of, probably less of me, and what you'd like to do more of. Which, when I used to teach literacy students, I used to just fold a piece of paper and pretty much say this: good, bad, less, more. And students could handle that. So yeah, can you see that at your end?
No, not now.
Oh, do I have to make it public? Oh, I got 2 people in here. Phil's in.
It dropped away before I clicked on it.
Oh. Hang on, I'll click on it and see what happens. Oh yeah, it's happened. Yep, it should work. Might have gone, here we go. So we've got Sharon's in.
So did we need to click on it when it came up on our screen?
I know, see down the bottom here.
Go into the chat box.
Chat box.
Down the bottom of your Zoom chat box.
Oh, yep. Oh, yes, gotcha. Yep, thank you.
So now all you have to do is, once you're in there, is type down below at the bottom of each of the 4 segments, whether you want what you want to keep, what you want to add to Learn Journey, what you want less of, what you want more. Oh, we nearly got you all in. So here we go. So Phil's in, Jaron, Greta, Jane's in. So who are we missing? Kerry.
Sorry.
That's all right.
There's a bit of noise in the background, so I've muted myself. Sorry, what was sorry.
So in the chat is the link to the board.
Yeah.
And when you click on it, you'll see what you should see on the screen now on your end.
And I just accept.
Yep.
And I just put my name in.
If you want to.
Any name?
Yep, if you want to. Or you can have an alias. I don't mind because I'm
No, that's
quite happy.
okay.
So you can be honest.
Yeah. And then where do I go?
Well, there we go. Oh, yes. Now we're talking. So then down the very bottom, it says add, keep note or add note. Then if you click in any one of those little forms at the bottom of each of those categories, it'll let you type in and then pop it up there.
Mhm.
Oh, right. They've put in what they want to keep.
Yeah, what do you want to keep? Yeah, so
Oh,
what do you want to keep in the Learn Journey? What do you think we should add?
Yep.
We should have less of.
Yep.
And what we should have more of. And you can vote as much as you want. Sorry, contribute as much as you want.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just taking a bit to figure it out.
That's all right. But it's free. It's fabulous. So you've got, you can download it. Or you can put a timer on it. Didn't know that. And you can customize it. So if you want to collect your own info, you can do that. Oops. I don't know what it is there. Oh, okay. Here we go. Going to get a few.
How do you actually add a note? I'm struggling to.
Yeah.
So down the
yeah.
bottom where it says add note, start typing.
Oh, I see. Who's writing
And-
coffee? Someone's writing coffee. But how do I add one?
You just click in there and you should be able to see a cursor. Can you see my cursor on the screen? Oh, you probably
Your cursor that says.
So see right down the very bottom of each quarter of each category, there's a add. It says starts off with the word add.
Add note.
Actually, I think I'm in your. I'm only viewing your screen. I'm not actually in on my.
Oh, so you have to click on that link in a chat to open it up in a new browser window. So
I've got two screens.
Oh, I
so
see. I see. Yeah, I see. Here I am.
if you minimize.
Trying to click on your shared screen. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you minimize mix. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably doing that anyway.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I need that.
Oh, it's great. You can edit it.
Oh,
you
that's
make-
good. Oh, you
And
can
make
too.
mistakes.
Oh, yep, beauty.
How do I?
Yeah, 1.25. I agree with that.
Mm.
Let me know when you've kind of think you've milked it to death.
Just looking at it, it's covered of what I think everyone's putting.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to put a little like or something there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or you can't reply, I don't think. I'm looking at fills. I can edit fills. And I can delete them. That's what I want.
If on your own square, when you wrote one in and you wanted to write another, it just continued on your own little square, wouldn't it, rather than taking up another space?
I think it becomes like a separate note. Yeah, so yeah.
It'd be good if it just added as a dot point on your own, you know, so that it didn't take so much room.
There are different templates. I've never used this before. I've only first
Oh,
used it.
okay.
I saw this another student did last week and in an ACFI class. And yeah, it's kind of, well, I looked at this and thought, oh, that's, and I actually had a slide that had that on it,
Yeah.
which I've
Oh,
lost.
good. This
I've
is
lost
good.
it.
Good idea, isn't it? Because sometimes you have different aspects, like that was good, but that wasn't, but that needs this, take that out, whatever.
And you can export it. So you can flick it out as a PDF, or as a simple spreadsheet. Not sure you want to share it, but anyway. And you can, you can turn the author off. There we go, that's better. There you go. So now we don't know who's written what. That's probably better, isn't it? As a evaluation thing.
All right, now we can go for it, everybody.
There you go. Now, so yeah. If you want to go in hard, you can now. All right, let's
Karaoke.
I'm waiting one more.
all right, fair enough. Karaoke. Now okay. Don't tell my partner that. She and three friends, one in Warrnambool and one in Bacabella, have met nightly since the pandemic began to dance for 45 minutes in Zoom. And so I have to get out of the lounge room, and yeah, they've only missed it when there's sort of family. She didn't do it last night; she was a bit tired, but the kids home. But
Our last Zoom we did last week or the week before, I think it was. We did fancy dress.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, because we did our last one on perming. And because we don't actually deliver perming, but we thought that we would do a bit of a fun one because all the students were interested. So we actually got dressed up, and some of the students got dressed up as well. So it was a lot of fun. One of the students said, her mum said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "Nowhere. I'm just going to my Zoom class."
So perming you don't do anymore because it's kind of like 280s?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there was definitely focus on the 80s with what we were all wearing, but I don't know. I think it's sad. I think perming, there's a whole generation of hairdressers that don't know how to do it. And, you know, for someone that's got, you know, straight, fine hair, having that option to be able to perm, you know, it's a bit sad that they can't have access to that much anymore.
Yeah.
So
huge in the 80s.
hopefully it comes back.
Well, you could set the trend. You could get yourself a perm and kind of like be a role model for perming.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to do it as a short course.
Oh,
we
perfect.
decided, yeah, we had a bit of a vote when, because we had over 60 students in there. So they were definitely interested. So yeah, I think we're going to run it as a short course.
Fantastic. That's great. All right, let's have a look at more. I don't know if you're back in with me, but we'll just unpack a bit of this. So quite a few you're saying perhaps some more group kind of activities, breakout thingies. and I'll take that on board. So yeah, okay, probably get more. I was a bit worried about the numbers in terms of, but we probably could have gone away with 2 breakout rooms. So yeah, I'll take that on board. Fair enough. I added this one. Now, I'm not sure what you think. It's kind of related to this point that I put in, but having done the program now, I felt that if you were able to negotiate the assessment types that you wanted to do up front, we probably could have spent a bit more time on each of those and discarded the ones that none of you were really going to consider and get you to submit just those as you went. So you could submit almost a, semi-final draft and get some feedback before. And that's, I'm not quite sure what you think about that. And so
sorry, Mick, I made a comment over in the keep that sort of relates to that, because at the very top it says initially I was thinking I was not going to be interested in third-party assessments or project-based type things. I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a waste of a session for me because we don't do that. But it was actually good. It made me think about, well, could we do that? Like, is there a possibility of building a project-based assessment in? And, if I did, how would I do it? And blah, blah, blah. So it was good to sit through the session in the end and have a little listen and consider it at least. Even if I didn't go through with it in the end, as one of my assessment things, it was just good to think about it.
It was interesting to see some of your responses to those too. So, okay. And someone said examples. More examples. Do you remember who that was? Was that you?
It was me.
Oh, okay. Yep. What do you got on there, Phil?
Just more examples of the how you want the template. Oh, I put templates too. I find templates and examples. It's probably a trade thing, maybe a hands-on type of learning. For more of the tradies type of thing,
Yeah, and some of you mentioned, someone also mentioned keeping. Oh, that was keeping template. So the
model answers. You mean like a model answer of what it should be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, some good examples of, so marking guides and instructions, those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I
Okay.
keep muting myself because I've got all the guys coming back for morning tea, so it'll be a bit noisy.
Packing boxes.
No, they're over eating their morning tea.
So the templates that were provided in this course were very different from the templates. They're more like activity templates for you rather than compliance templates. And I thought that was kind of good. But yeah. All right. Yep. Cool. And some more group activities, more breakout stuff. Now, quite a few mentioned shorter period of time. And you think, well, we've got to be 1 hour and we've got 1.5, 2 hours too long?
That was me. Yeah, with the 1 hour instead of 2. I
think maybe or even a break, some sort of bit of a break in the middle, perhaps.
Yep. Fair enough.
We didn't really have a break over our 2-hour periods.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and there's a slide there that says have a break, and I kind of just skipped past it. So, all right, no worries. So, and then we got more examples of what other people are doing. So, are we saying there maybe if you did do one of the activities through the week that you might like have an opportunity to share what you did?
That was my comment. I really enjoyed seeing, I think Phil put up his what a student had done, the slide presentation. That was really good to see. Like it's all very well to talk about stuff, but it's good to actually physically see stuff that other people do, what other people's assessments look like, and that sort of thing.
And that was probably good in the way that you could add your ideas to the discussion board each week rather than submit them so that other people could see what you've done. And there's a bit of nice commentary back and forward from each other too. Karaoke. We could do that at the end of the session, I suppose. And yep, okay, so that's all pretty much. So I want to keep, so we took that bit of flexibility here. That was probably, anyway, I would have survived it. Experience sharing, yeah, group discussions, casual chat, open discussion template. All right, okay, so that's pretty good. So I'll grab a copy of that.
Except for Jane. Who wrote that?
Which one was that?
Who wrote coffee except for Jane? I bet that was Phil.
Oh, it was me. Oh, what am I doing? Oh,
I tried to
let's
remain.
save this.
I tried to remain very calm. I'm not even crazy yet.
Here we go. So yeah, this tool, just going back to this tool. So these are the templates it's got in, but you can also change them as well. You can add like a create your own board as well. So just the template. So this is the URL for it. If you want to just create up. So it's the kind of thing you could use in the classroom because you can play on your phone. Sometimes, it's good to integrate some of these things into the face-to-face as well. All right. So now I did a whole slide yesterday. I don't know what happened to it, but so I'll just get rid of that. So what I wanted to see was whether you wanted to talk a bit about, as the last thing, take 5 minutes each and just tell us a little bit about where you got to with your project and what the barrier was or the issue that you wanted to address with that, and whether you felt you'd achieved that, and there's any other work for you to kind of do, with anything holding you back apart from time. So I think I might have alerted you to this into the email. So you don't need to plan anything or anything like that. So Jane, I might start with you because you're at the top of my list.
Okay, so I had, even though for the role plays that we ended up doing, I did through the sessions, I did workplace interview and wrote when I handed those in about how to do a pretend interview situation. What I actually wanted to focus on was maths assessments, which for us in general education Cert 2 is measurement, which is basically students demonstrating that they can do basic measurements using length, weight or mass, temperature, and what's the other measurement? What else do we measure? Length, weight,
oh, you're right,
mass, and
speed.
Oh gosh, what is it? I'm having a mental blank.
It's you dipped in the coffee.
Angles, measuring angles.
Ah, okay.
And a little bit of ratio, scaling things down if they have a drawing, just basically life skills, maths, what you use in society, going in, buying, your food, being able to convert grams to kilograms if you were buying slices of meat, knowing how much a bag of potatoes weighs and understanding things like that, area and volume, if they ever have to tile or concrete or pave or, or organise that, not that they do it as a tradie, but just understanding these things so they don't get ripped off, and understanding that the area of a room is, length times width and volume, you're timesing in the height. And what they do in our course is they work through a booklet. I haven't got the proper cover on this, but it's a booklet, this is all raggedy, but it's a booklet that they work through that's about 60 pages, and it gives all these different examples of the different topics that we cover, area, volume, measuring angles, solids, shape, all that sort of thing, recognising different shapes and that sort of thing, road signs, so that they understand when they're out in society, these things. And then at the end of working through the book, we mark it together, and then if they're mostly correct with it, we give them a couple of assessments. So I wasn't quite happy with how the assessments were that we had, but I quite liked them because they sort of were a simulation. So I just was altering them, because every time I gave the students the assessment to do after they'd worked through the book, they would always call me over, which they were meant to sit and do them by themselves, and they'd call me over and go, Jane, what does this question mean? I don't understand it. And I used to get so frustrated because I think, well, if they're asking me what does the question mean, this is not clear enough. And they're not understanding what they have to do. And I was always having to go, well, what it means that you have to do is, and then I'd be explaining it, and they'd go, oh, right. So I was concentrating on rewording some of the questions, and also some of the diagrams. They were always asking me, I can't see that. What is it? Where's the number on it? And which part do we have to measure? And so, yeah, I just wanted to adapt and change that and refine it so it was so that they could go sit over there, not ask me any questions, and then do it unless it was a question of their actual understanding of the concept, not what does this question mean.
And it's always a pretty tricky thing to do anyway. And did you find that that there was an opportunity to maybe share that with a colleague to see what they thought about how you'd redrafted them?
Well, I talked about it with them before and moaned about it and went, we've got to change these. So that was a good opportunity because I kind of had talked about it before with them. So I knew how I wanted to change it.
Yeah.
So that was good because I felt really happy about being able to alter that.
So did the learning journey provide you with the opportunity to do something that you may not have done?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But, and also the questions, we haven't got knowledge questions. We do have a simulation kind of, well, the thing that I chose to do was let's design a children's playground. So they had to choose some elements that would be in the playground, a picnic table, a slippery slide, a sand pit, and they had to say, what shape is this? They had to work out the volume of sand that might go in the sand pit. So it was good that to use something that was sort of what we talked about in the learning journey of the simulating where they actually did a kind of activity where they were designing in a simulation, whereas if like they were in a place where somebody said, hey, we want to put a new community playground in, can you design it? And then using that as the basis for them to do calculations of area, perimeter, volume, shape, asking them, you know, we're going to put a square-based pyramid for fun play in the playground. What shape is that? And some of them go, a pyramid. No, and the question is, put a square-based pyramid for fun play, draw it onto your plan. And then the question about it was, what shape will this be when you draw it on your plan? And a lot of them said a pyramid, which is wrong. And they have to
Trick question.
From that bird's eye view of a plan, it'll actually be a square. And they need to understand the square base. So just the wording, yeah, it was wrong and we had to change it. So yeah, that was good. And then I also wanted to incorporate the knowledge-based questions, which we haven't used before. So that's my third one that I'm working on that I want to put in.
Okay, I look forward to them.
Yeah. I've just got to find, earlier yesterday, I was trying to find your comments, Mick, on my questions and I couldn't find them. I might have got you to send them to me, your feedback on the activity 3, which was the knowledge questions, and I'll want to adapt and put those in. Anyway, that's me. So yeah, I quite enjoyed it yesterday. But believe it or not, which I'm sure you all will believe this, but I actually sat down for 6 hours and was putting it all together with the assessor guides and the, you know, doing the assessor guide answers and thought, but I quite enjoyed it actually, but it did take up my Sunday.
It's slow going, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. But anyway, and but I found doing it all in one chunk, the 2 of them at least anyway, my head was in the zone.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Getting off and around on things.
Yeah, I find it hard coming and going.
Lovely. Thank you.
Sorry, that was a bit long. So
no, that's all right. So good. Beautiful. Well, good luck with that. Look forward to reading that. And so now I think I've got Sharon.
Okay, so when I first started this learning journey, I was looking at a unit that was a clustered unit and we were going to use a new textbook next year. And I thought, beauty, I'll start writing the assessments to be in line with the new textbook because we always like to write our assessments that are in line with the textbook. anyway, so that's where I started, and I started thinking I'd do some knowledge questions and put a lot of them onto Moodle. I want to do like quiz, self-marking quiz, multiple choice questions to help teachers with their time management. So I started doing some multiple choice questions, which I found really quite challenging and haven't finished. So that was one of my tools that I'm going to be doing. Then partway through the learning journey, it was decided we weren't going to be using a new book. And so the purpose of me writing the assessments was a bit, had gone out the window then, which was a bit of a bugger because that was my motivation behind doing it. So then I looked at maybe fixing up the assessments that we've got, maybe doing one of the role plays. I will do that, and some sort of project, not work-based project, but a simulated project-based project. So I'll be working on both of those. The issue that I have is that the unit is so big that I'm not going to be able to put it all together to absolutely assess the whole 2 units that I've got. I'm going to be probably just doing a sample of what I would do for each assessment.
Great. Well, so it sounds like sounds like once that textbook decision goes, they kind of like just marking time, aren't you?
Yeah, no, definitely not. I'm always looking for ways to improve things, like make things more interesting, do something different. So it wasn't just marking time. It's I'll definitely be using I'll turn the multiple choice questions, definitely be doing something with that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, they are hard to write, and the content projects that I involved with have to write a series of 5 multiple choice questions at the end of every topic. So that would be across the unit. It'd be maybe 20, 25 of those you got to write. That's kind of like learning activities, and they're always the most difficult to do. At the end, it's easy to write stuff, but just come up with those questions that are credible is just formative. It's really tough. Thank you.
It's easy getting the right answer, but it's trying to think of something that's not ridiculously wrong answers.
Yeah.
You know? Something that's just close, but not quite close enough. And yeah, anyway, so I find it challenging, but yeah, I'll get to and do some more of those multiple choice questions. I think I only did a sample of 5 or 6, so I'll pad those out and do a few more of those. And
Okay. Sounds good.
Have a look at the other stuff.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for your contributions too along the way. It's been fantastic.
No worries.
Coretta.
Hi. Am I next?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I've learned quite a lot from this learning journey. Like you guys all know, I'm quite a young teacher, just less than 1 year into teaching. So it's been a really privilege working with you all and learning from your experiences. And yeah, so initially I'd chosen 2 units to work with, but I finally concentrated on just one because I realized that one was good enough because it had the knowledge-based component and then the performance component as well. So I could use that unit well. I didn't want to over stress myself to do 2 units. So I thought one was fine for me to learn from it, which I've done. I did a knowledge-based assessment and I was really happy with the feedback I got, like how to think about how to vary the complexity of the knowledge-based questions, which words to use. It helped me to think about it a little bit more, and now I have a better idea about how to do that in a better way. And then also with the simulation and then the role play. The role play, when you told us about the role play and that it's good when the student takes another role, like a role they're not being trained for. So that helped me to think about what else could the student do that they could learn, but not as a nurse. Yeah, so that was eye-opening for me because it helped me think about that, and I was able to come up with a scenario where the students could learn. I also had to, when I was trying to do that, I was a little bit stuck on how much time should the role play take and how complex should it be. Sometimes when I was writing it, it felt like I was writing a movie script, like so detailed and all that. And then I thought that wouldn't work for an assessment. So yeah, it was a little bit challenging finding the balance for an assessment and the time. Yeah, so that was good. And then the third party one, which I was going to do as well, I think I submitted it last week. I don't think I've had feedback from you yet.
Oh, no, I haven't looked for that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's been a good journey learning through the different assessment tasks, the differences between them. Sometimes there's a tiny difference between them. But yeah, it's been a very good journey for me and I've loved every moment of it. Thank you. Thank you all.
Well, I've enjoyed too because you,
Yeah.
like I said, you're a new teacher, but some of the ideas you had in the case study and the role play. I mean, I think in the role play you had the students playing, the role, which was so I guess I take your point about it's the script for them that's the hardest thing to write because they're the ones introducing the issues and the problems and the dilemmas that make a big difference. But and also like because they're younger and new teacher, then you probably got a really close relationship to the industry and working daily there. That as teachers we get older and we're kind of doing our teaching work and we don't have that kind of rhythm. You're going to maintain that because of your the placement work that you do and the relationships that you have to build with the hospital. But I really felt like I learned quite a bit from you. And when I was looking at your stuff, it was just really stuff around, polishing, really, polishing instructions, making questions a bit clearer, that kind of stuff, really. And so that's stuff that we'll be doing for the rest of our teaching journey. We're always trying to improve our instructions. But yeah, if you've got the basic idea and they're creative, I think that's you're going to be set.
Right. Yeah.
Good on you.
Very, very true. Yes. And I felt also that the quiz we did today, the Kahoot, it was my first time doing it. And I feel like the results were very valid and reliable. Like it just shows the teachers with a lot of experience, like they look at the question and they can give it a go and they can easily interpret the question to what answer they want. So it was good to see that flow and I feel like it was good. Yeah.
It's a little bit of fun and it can be nice at the end of a topic or something like that and make a joke out of it, Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
No worries. Good on you. Thank you. Kerry.
Hey,
Kerry, sorry, Kerry. So next time I see you, if you ever do another My Learning Journeys, does this mean you're going to have a perm?
No, I've already got naturally curly hair myself. So I've actually just blow waved it straight. But I have had a perm in the past. But yeah, mine's already curly. I'm lucky in that way. So I actually chose 2 units. I chose a practical one and what you might call a theory-based one. And I ended up sort of quickly focusing in on the theory-based one because it was not as relatable to me even as to the students because it was more about contribute to health and safety of others. And obviously it's a Cert 2 program, so, they're not really interested in the theory. So trying to make that a little bit more interesting and less, I guess, boring for them. So obviously I'd already developed it. So I asked for some feedback off the teachers that were actually delivering the program. One part of the information was around the role play and, not 100% clear on, how to set up for that. So I thought that improving on the role play and the assessor guide with more instruction for the assessor was needed. The quiz questions, there was 27 of them. And early on, we just talked about how there was this select one or all of the above or whatever it was questions, like a little bit too easy. So I decided that I would take those questions out and I could either rewrite them or add them into the knowledge part of the project because there's a little bit of a project in there with knowledge questions. But it's been challenging because, like I said, the cohort is Cert 2, they want to get in, they want to do the practical side of it, but obviously they need to know about the health and safety side of things, but making that interesting is a little bit of a challenge with that age group. So, so I've improved on the role play. I've been a little bit naughty. I haven't actually submitted a lot of my things, but I will do that. I kind of have had a little bit of trouble with time because we've been delivering online and or not an excuse, but time has been a little bit of a factor for me during this. So I've revisited my instructions. So in that role play, what else did I do? So
Just way of thinking.
yeah.
I'm running for that cohort too around occupational health and safety, and I've written it before. And so the only way I came around, I mean, I had time to do this. I didn't really, but to have a character to take you through, and you're kind of guiding that character through different situations, and that character is a bit of a doofus. So you can have a bit of fun with it. And I think I might have told you that story, didn't I? I think so I did a project about asset maintenance. So just cleaning. It's no longer a qualification. And so we had a character called Sandro. He's a bit of a, he's hungover all the time. He's late to work, typically hopeless guy. And then we did a photo shoot at a supermarket of him in action, so for all these things. And so his friend of a friend was getting this guy in, and this guy turned up. He had long hair, his hair was everywhere. He obviously had a big night. He wasn't shaven. He was like perfect, he's like perfect character. So you kind of like have a bit of fun with him. He's always doing the wrong thing and whatever. But it is tricky, and not like particularly legislation. I mean, how do you make that interesting?
And keep it interesting for this sort of age group. So I've rewritten some of the questions because I mean, obviously there was no area for the work-based project or a third party as such with Cert 2, although we do that with our Cert 3s. And I've gotten some really interesting, ideas about simulations and things like that too. Probably more simulation would be needed for Cert 2, I would think. So I've pretty much just been working on improving what I've already got because, it's a quick question, when an assessor, when the person who's delivering it might ask me, I'm the one that developed it, hey, what do we do here? What do we do there? And I'm like, well, it's quickly to answer, but really I think I need to look at the instructions in the assessor guide so that, they had everything that they needed. And, especially for such a challenging unit, you want to be prepared. You don't want to look like a dill when you're trying to, it's a hard thing to teach. So you want to be able to be on the ball with it.
You don't want to be thinking either.
So and perhaps even look into, even thought of some of the other units that we've done, some improvements on incorporating more scenarios, reflections, and even contingencies. I think they can be used to gather better evidence sometimes too, especially from the younger ones. So
it's a really good illustration of whether people are learning, like they apply what they learn and understand the level of responsibility they've got. All that stuff. So I'm at the very bottom end of a big project, rewriting units. Chisholm's involved in it. A whole heap of VU units that are finding gaps in new technologies. And I was talking to one of the assessment writers the other day. We quite meet up and share ideas, and she was saying the direction has been that for these particular units, for this cohort, is that they don't have any knowledge questions. The knowledge questions are all embedded into task performance, which they're finding, a little bit of a challenge because there's always those couple of things that just sort of don't fit in a task, and the units haven't been written in that way. So,
and they're not all tech savvy either to be able to look up, go onto a website, look for policies and procedures and standards and all of this. Like, they're great on their phones for Instagram and Facebook, but when it comes to searching a website or, navigating through that, I think some better instructions in there when, they're looking for answers might help them and help the educator too.
Yeah, and tell them exactly where to go and find information and give it back to them. Yeah, beautiful. All right. So that brings us to, now I think we've only got Philip left, haven't we?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The issue that I wanted to address through doing the learning journey was the apply laminates unit that we've got. Just wanted to formalise it into a way rather than just having it in our heads and just telling it to the next teacher who comes along, this is what you got to do. just basically to formalise it. And I do a bit of work with Joanna Ludbrook, and Joanna and I have done a couple of Moodles for a lot of our units, and I felt that the knowledge-based questions I could use again. So the work I was doing with the learning journey wasn't going to be wasted. I can use those questions and give them to Joanna, and we can start building our Moodle site for this particular unit. And
Phil, who's
that was
Joanna?
basically Joanna Ludbrook.
Yeah.
She's she's on a contract basis, and she's part of Moodle, and she helps. She's been put with us in the building construction area to help us build our Moodle sites. And so very busy lady, but no, she's great to really work with. She just gives me all the templates. I put all the knowledge questions and everything like that, and then she gets back to me and says, you know, that's good, that's bad, all that sort of stuff. And she helps us build the Moodle site. So, but it's all about funding, you see.
Yeah, it's just that we've trial and error developing our Moodle sites ourselves, and we try our best, but we don't really know what to do half the time. And it'd be great to have someone that's an expert, but it never seems there never seems to be any help. It's always you've done
we had the same problem, and Joanna will build the site, or I think there's other people in her area, but Joanna's over the years she's had maybe 2 other types of roles, and she's had a lot to do with the building construction area. So we've got a real rapport with us. She knows all of us in the area. So I think whenever building construction gets talked about, she's the go-to person as far as Moodle goes with us. But I know she is doing other areas. So might be worthwhile having a chat to your manager. And
you don't need to know about Moodle. You just need to know what it can do for your particular thing. What are the possibilities in terms of how you might design for it? So that
that's right. Yeah.
Provide those questions to her in a good format, a good shape.
One particular win we had with her was we were trying to communications in the workplace. That was one of our units, and she said, "Oh my God, Phil, how are we going to do this on Moodle?" And I said, "Well, so why don't we have a recording of a woman, you know, ringing a cabinet making firm saying that, oh, can you change the colour? Oh no, I need to speak to my husband first," and being sort of really indecisive and everything like that. And then the students would listen to that phone conversation, and then they had to it was about taking messages and relaying messages to other staff. So from that message, they had to write down, and of course, it wasn't it was something that a teacher would physically have to get on and assess. It wasn't something that would be automatically accessible, because you can't do that. But we try and make all our units as clean cut as yes, no answers, or, you know, keywords and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. All right, Phil. Thank you.
No worries.
All right. Well, I reckon that could be it. We've had a nice little evaluation. Thank you for that. That was good. It's good stuff to sort of take away. I think you guys get surveyed too, don't you? I don't think I've ever seen that information come back, but yeah, got a couple of weeks. I'll follow up with an email. Pretty much have the same thing I just sent to you now about what I want to do. You know, if you get into trouble with the date, then just send me an email if you need to renegotiate when they can probably work something out, depending on how flexible and when the points get given out. But we've given them out a long time after it's finished in the past, so I don't think that would be any different here. But if you can get it knocked over the next 3 weeks, that's probably the best. We can all kind of move on. But let me just say, I really enjoyed. You know, it's a bit wide when you got a really, really small group. And the other group I had 7, and that was probably just right. I reckon it was a really good number, and lots of variety like we've had here of people. But it really does force you to participate when you've got small numbers because it's kind of nowhere to hide. And you can get away with turning your camera off and whatever. But so from my point of view, I've really enjoyed working with you all and meeting you all and reading your submissions and hearing all your stories. And I've got a lot out of it too in terms of practice and how I can kind of smarten up too. So thanks for giving me your time and participation. And yeah, good luck. And I hope maybe we bump into each other, another learning journey along the way, somewhere down the track.
Well, some of us have learnt we're in really close to each other, so I'm sure we'll see each other
Yes,
on campus too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I should come and say hello to you when I
So I'm
come.
gonna say hello. Yeah. I believe your building's beautiful over there. I've been over there once.
Yeah, we still
Yeah.
come along when we have labs and when we have assessments. But
Yeah.
for regular theory classes, it's gonna be next year. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll see you in 2022.
Yes.
You have to send me a perm photo too, I think, at some point when that happens. It'd be good to
I
see.
had lots of photos in the PowerPoint. I got some of the old rockers like Bon Jovi and Kiss and all of those, and talked to, although Kiss used to wear wigs, different groups that, trying to identify what perms were what. So,
It's a wide photos, isn't it? Because I mean, my mother, I grew up on a farm in South Gippsland, and she would go into town once every 3 months and get a perm, as she called it. But it was really, it wasn't really tight curls. It was like almost like a set of waves to her hair. She had short hair, so you could kind of like, she'd move, or the wind and the hair would just stay, and you could kind of like put a cup on it, and it wouldn't.
there's so many different
hairspray.
There's so many different ways, and it's a real shame because we're all, some of the teachers here, we're all from that perming era, and we love perms. So the fact that it got taken out, we were all a bit devastated. So, but yeah,
I've got a bit of
there's
confession.
definitely interest there, as we
I'm
found.
sure there is. Learning 80s has come back. And I've got a bit of a confession to make. I remember I worked in hospitality for a long time before I got to here, mainly as a waiter. I remember I got this job with a guy in the early 80s, and he was really skinny, tall guy. He used to wear this little kind of, skinny white jacket like the 80s was, and he had really tight little perms in his hair, like really tight, but the hair was long. And I remember thinking, I don't know if I can trust this guy. And I goes, no, he was fine, but it just didn't look right on him for some reason. It looked odd. So maybe there's something in that. Maybe you deal with that. What kind of body shape, facial type, hair type works well with perms, and what, you're better off maybe look at another style.
Yeah. So Mick, can I just ask a question? When we submit our finals, do they go into that submit, or do we just send them through to you?
Well, you can put it
So
up there if
finished.
it'll fit. So you can just chuck everything up there if you want to. But I'm just not sure whether they'll all go. So try.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't, just email them to me, and I can.
Yeah.
I don't think I can upload them either, but because they don't give us very much space for submissions or. So give it a go there, and if it doesn't work, just email to me. Go from there.
So there's the action-based. That's just a sign off in the.
Yeah, so no
submission
real
part in Moodle on that.
templates. Templates.
Yeah,
so
and
you
then-
use the templates that are there, or
Yeah.
own
add the-
templates or whatever.
We can add our submissions in that action-based sign-off as well, can't we? That
Yes, you can.
tab.
Oh, can we?
Yeah,
that's-
so put
yeah, that's
your
what I was
sign-off,
thinking,
your sign-off and your whatever
The
activities you've
final
done.
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my best.
All right. I'll do that.
Can I just ask a question, Mick, which I've mentioned before? Would you be able to just send me your feedback on workshop 3, my knowledge questions? Because I would like to do that as my third assessment. I just wanted to look over yours, and I can't find them in Moodle where you commented on them.
I'll tell you. Oh, yep, I've got questions for workshop 3
Yeah,
using metric.
yes.
Yep. Okay. Yep, I'll send them to you. I'll send everything I've got.
I just find Moodle hard to navigate, and I can find your comments to Sharon, but not to me.
Mm.
Thank you for that.
Light keeps going out.
Kerry's just waving.
Yeah, my light keeps going out. I'm in one of the little
Oh,
conference
it's like a
rooms.
sensor light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, if you had a perm, it would just be so reflective. You just don't move your
it wouldn't
head.
matter. Sit here in the dark.
All right, everybody. Well,
So
thank you.
guys, at the
Right.
level of the school, what happens after we've submitted everything? What does Chisholm do? What's the next step?
They
Might-
just add your
get-
points.
Okay.
Just
And they
like-
go-
yeah.
They go like this. They go
Well
like this,
done.
and they say you've done well. And next year you'll be back in the same boat again. You got to do it all again.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Okay,
No
have a
pay
nice-
rise. No pay
Have a
rise.
nice break.
All right, everybody.
No pay rise.
Thank you very much.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Lovely to
Later.
meet you all.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Round,
Take care.
see you. Bye.
I'm waiting for your feedback